Good morning.
Right. There are those who have said that the 2023 elections is quite different from other elections Nigerians have witnessed. And we have seen developments leading up to the elections. From your point of view, what makes this election so significant and different from what we've witnessed in the past years?
Of course, it is definitely different and no less than the unnecessary situation that has come to play, particularly the issue of more like this Naira redesign issue that has virtually thrown the entire polity into confusion. If for nothing, just this, advertent or inadvertent situation that the country has been plunged into, it has given it a distinct nature. We're in troubling times, times that try men's souls, as a philosopher would say. So particularly, it is different to the extent that this is the first time we are having an electioneering period in which the whole country has been plunged into a situation of abject poverty. An attempt is being made to interfere with the election even before the election day. And so there is so much talk about an effort by the government to curb or to forestall rigging. But what we see, unfortunately, is that those who are claiming to initiate policies that will ensure a free and fair election, ironically, by the policies they have initiated, they are the ones that are attempting to rig. You heard of the word gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is an American term that has made its way into the political dictionary. A senator of Massachusetts in 1811, Elbridge Gerry, who attempted to redraw electoral districts in Massachusetts in a manner that will confer advantage to him electorally. And that was the origin of the word gerrymandering, an attempt by policy to rig an election without necessarily having any contact with voters. This is technically what is happening in Nigeria. Those who are claiming to want to give us a free and fair election are more like interfering with the election in a manner that favors and disfavors others. So, unfortunately, the entire thing is virtually backfiring. Backfiring in the sense that now you have put the entire populace in abject poverty. You are making them more vulnerable, far more vulnerable than they would have been if this policy had not been put in place. Right now, I have a feeling that it is easier to influence a voter with as little as 300 naira. People are so poor. I was at the bank yesterday in Mina, and a security guard in the bank who ran an errand for me to buy a credit, I gave him 200 naira. 200. The kind of gratitude I saw, it was so much gratitude for so little an offer. And when I came out of the bank, just by my car before I took off, a little beggar, an almajiri, so to speak, came around. And I remembered I had a certain 50 naira in the pigeonhole that had been lying there for only God knows how long, very faded and almost out of recognition. I took this 50 naira and gave this young boy, and the way he suddenly went into supplications and prayers for me, it was evident that that 50 naira, faded as it was probably something he had not had in the last 2 days. No one had given him that because no one had anything to give anybody. No one had money that he could give someone else. 50 naira. And when I listened to Oji Uzokalu talking about how it is now becoming difficult in his own house for his wife to cook the regular meals that she does for the house helps and probably some family members, Oji Uzokalu we're talking about. Now you begin to imagine the situation that we are in. By the time you give a voter 200 naira, it is easier to influence him. So you pay more like you pay less. You would be paying less now to influence a voter.
All right. Mohammed, you can go on.
Yes.
It's a very good point you made here about the irony or the paradox of this, thing that you think that you are disenfranchising the politician, but actually you're actually enfranchising him more and more and more by taking from him. You are giving him more powers. Now let's focus on the politics of the North. People have been using there's this tension going on. There's people say there is what they call Naka, say Naka. And then there is this also this trend going on now that it's payback time for Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What feelers are you getting up north?
Yeah, up north, I think the feelers are good. Based on my observation, the feelers are good. There are a lot of politicking going on, a lot of propaganda, and for journalists who have more like a third eye, we are lucky we can see beyond the noise. But on the whole, I don't think I have any worry that things are coasting very well. The forces that are trying to misinform the public, they are there, quite okay. But we are reminding them, you probably saw the piece I wrote, we're reminding them of that, the fidelity of keeping promises, trust, and confidences. There is nothing I think the North can do in so short a time to reward someone like Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what he has done. He has distinguished himself as more like the most politically savvy personality in this country, about the only politician who does not jump ship, who has been consistent. He has remained within his party all this while. He has been the only one who genuinely builds bridges. He has extended a hand across geopolitics, across tribe and tongue. He has created alliances of ethnic groups and geopolitical entities. And honestly speaking, when I wrote the piece that I sent you, it was anguish in me, it was pain that a beautiful relationship that has built and we thought is still building between the North and particularly the Southwest, that to my mind is the most politically savvy section of the South. And through that relationship, probably a lot more will be consolidated in the future. And all of a sudden, we have forces in the North, unfortunately, well, partisan forces, I should say, that are pushing for a repudiation of this handshake in a manner that I honestly do not think it will augur well for the future of this country. When trusts are broken, when parties are allowed brazenly to break promises, to repudiate promises they have made, the eventual, of course, the consequences is that the friendship will be shattered. And what results from the breakdown of friendship between the Southwest and the North is better imagined. We love this country.
All right.
And we want, hello?
Yeah, all right, Mohammed, because of time, let me chip this in as you talk about all of these things. Now, a lot of people will describe Nigeria as a very complex country with complex people and reasoning, and different background, and so on. As it is, one would say the kind of president that Nigeria needs right now would not be a common person who just has maybe the handsome face that everybody would like to see or something. But describe for us, what kind of president does Nigeria need right now, considering the complexity and the level to which Nigerians want a change so drastically?
Yes, well, Nigeria, it is obvious that, hello? Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead, we can hear you clearly.
Yes, there's no doubt about it that Tinubu has maintained a kind of character that stands him as a politician who builds people, someone who does not rely on his own intellect alone, someone who recruits persons with potentials. He surrounds himself with those who can deliver. He has consistently maintained this character all through his 8 years as governor of Lagos State. There is no doubt about it. No Nigerian who is sincere will doubt that Tinubu, of all the lot, Tinubu is the only candidate who has that capacity to wield divergent, conflicting interests into one common whole, and who has the knowledge to direct it towards the common good. So I think it is asking the obvious to say who stands out better or who does Nigeria need. And thus far, we would not be selfish if we say that Tinubu has demonstrated that ability to galvanize conflicting interests and to be able to reach out to friends and enemies and make peace. And he has been the most tolerant, who, of course, has been the object of all propaganda and machinations, mischief. But he has kept an equanimity of mind so far. It is amazing thus far that he has not lost his bearing, and he has been consistent He has been taking all the shots, but like a behemoth, he is trudging, and I think I am confident that
Right.
a majority of Nigerians would want this kind of leader. There are baggages. We see, well, I don't want to name names,
All right.
but I think, hello?
Yes. All right. I was going to ask that you're talking about the APC presidential candidate. Now, yesterday was the climax of the campaigns that was held in Lagos, the Teslim Balogun Stadium. And from September 2022 till yesterday, would you say that he has been able to sell the message of his renewed hope across the country as he crisscrossed?
Yeah, I think he has. And all thanks to the campaign council and to all the trusted aides and allies that he has surrounded himself with. There is virtually nothing that Nigerians need to know about Tinubu, about his track record. I was telling a friend, I said, well, what there is in Tinubu, essentially, first and foremost, is there's a track record of achievement, and then you have also experience. These two, you can forgo virtually every other attribute in a candidate when you get track record of achievement, when you get experience. Someone who knows the road, as they say, you can forgo others if you do not have them. So he has also lined up personalities that have, so far, I am very pleased with the deliveries all over, all the campaigns, the communicating with the voter, letting him know who Tinubu was, who Tinubu means to him today, and someone who has demonstrated governance in an unusual manner compared to virtually all the governors that we have ever had in this country. Tinubu stands out. Lagos State is more like the exhibit. It is what has been showcased. His policies on revenue generation, his policies on so many things that virtually every Nigerian is aware of. So when he was being accused of going to Kano and only dancing, I said, well, what is there that Nigerians do not know about Tinubu so far? Virtually no Nigerian who is sincere would tell you that he does not know the track record of Tinubu's achievement.
All right.
He does not know. Yes. So I think the communication has been effectively executed. Nigerians are aware, they know.
Okay.
Unless you are not sincere, you know what he has done, you know what he's capable of doing. I told someone on a very rather ridiculous note, I said, if Tinubu were lying on a stretcher, but he can still communicate, I think if he has his crack team, he will still move this country.
All right, that's a fine place to leave the conversation. Columnist and public affairs analyst Mohammed Adamu, thank you for your time on the program.